Hi, my name is Trent Cartmel. And for this project, I was interested in analyzing consumer behavior and problematic strategies as it applies to the German company Puma. So let's start by looking at a brief history of the company. Puma was started by two brothers named Rudolf and Adolf Hassler. The company was originally named Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik when created, and that's about as close as I can get to the pronunciation. The company's claim to fame in the athletic market were their track shoes. Eventually, the Hassler brothers had a fallout and the company was renamed Puma. The reasoning being that when you wore the clothing, you would encompass all the powers of the animal. Puma has since become one of the largest companies in the athletic wear industry and is best known for their track and soccer gear. In 2021, Puma had a gross profit of approximately 3.26 billion euros or 3.47 billion US dollars. That was a 800 million euro increase from 2020, and they have been steadily increasing in gross profit year after year. If you look at the graph, their yearly gross profit has increased 3.81 billion euros since 2000, a pretty astounding increase in profitability. Now, why are all these statistics measured in euros? That is not only because the company is European based, but Puma does substantially better competing with other brands in the overseas markets than they do here in the United States. In this slide, I'm going to talk about the few of the common barriers to success that are especially relevant to big global companies that have lots of competition worldwide. One study I discovered looked into something called consumer-based brand equity, in which the author provided a four-step blueprint to building a strong brand. The first step, establishing proper brand identity, has to do with creating brand awareness. This means that the brand should aim to create something that has knowledge of its target audience, but also pushes to reach an even broader audience to ensure good feedback. Similarly, step two involves creating appropriate brand meaning, which essentially certifies that the brand is conveying the message or mission that is intended to. The last two steps have to do with positive response to the brand and loyal relationships with customers. One thing that we commonly see in large popular brands is that they often have a very loyal customer base, sometimes even refusing to shop at competitors' stores. To apply this to the equity theory that we talked about in class, you could say that this four-step blueprint provides a foundation for an equally beneficial relationship between the consumer and the brand. Another article I found in my research introduced the idea of consumer intimate but idea led, which asserts a suggestion to all businesses that are starting up in a competitive market. This suggestion is that a brand should first listen to what its consumers want, but also bring a fresh and new ideas to the table. Basically, consumers don't want to see a brand copying another brand to a T. They want to see brand copying the big brand, then adding their own twist to it. This will instill in customers that even though brands are constantly innovating, they can trust the innovations will be unique and molded to their satisfaction. The last study on this slide relates to current issues in not just the clothing industry, but commercial industries, which is the problem of sustainability. This study showed that customers will most likely choose the brand with the best quality over a competing brand, and quality directly translates into avoiding harm to the planet. Because big brands often have the reputation of being powerful and persuasive, it's important that they do everything they can to display to consumers that they have good intentions. When comparing these studies to Puma, we can first look at Puma's struggles with establishing brand equity or assuring that the brand benefits customers and in turn, customers give their loyalty. As Uday Kapoor said in Brand Review, according to me, Puma is good for daily use, but if you're sporty, go for Nike. If you're a gym freak, go for Adidas or Reebok. So as you can see, this pattern of Puma customers not feeling loyal to the brand because it's for everyday wear or because there's better competitors is common and takes a toll on the brand's image. Now we'll decide if Puma could be considered a consumer intimate brand because it has a reputation of copying other brands, especially with shoes. Consumers are likely to feel less loyalty to the brand because they don't get that satisfaction of knowing that the brand is catering to their unique desires. Lastly, there's the issue of sustainability, as the research conveyed. Customers want to see their favorite brands making an active commitment to saving the planet. In today's cancel culture, it's important to take these steps because one's discovery into brands' not so sustainable practices could sink the company. While Puma has made it clear that they're taking the steps to be eco-friendly or safe, they are clearly not committed to the entirety of the cause, as consumers have made assertions about the company's mistreatment of its workers. On a popular website that rates brands on the ethicality of their practices, this statement is made that Puma has good policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in its supply chains, but is not taking adequate steps to ensure payment of a living wage for its workers. Puma is a German brand, but one of its biggest competitors, Nike, is American. Has Nike seen so much success because it's an American brand, or are there other factors that feed into its popularity? So how does Puma improve on these fronts? An article I found in my research states that making any major changes to the company branding can be extremely risky when it comes to the consumer's point of view, and that reliability, quality, and familiarity are what's attractive. When consumers see that Puma is making major changes in its branding, not only against their usual style, but almost identical to the style of other brands, it doesn't look good for the company. Instead, I would suggest making minimal yet strategic changes to styles if they are looking to rebrand, so as to go along with the status quo while also keeping their consumers happy. For example, Nike and Adidas have multiple ties to pop culture through brand deals, not only with athletes, but artists as well. Consumers are drawn to a product when they see globally famous musicians like Kanye West wearing it. Just recently, Puma noticed that having brand deals with only athletes is a thing of the past. In order to keep up with their competitors, they hired Jay-Z, one of the most famous rappers of all time, to be the head creative director for their basketball division. Although his title in the company does not state this, it is clear they hired him as an idea champion for their brand. Basketball is a section of sportswear that has shown to be the most profitable in the United States. With this move, the brand has signed multiple up-and-coming players to sponsorships, which in turn has increased the consumer's interest in their products. In order to become even more competitive with brands like Nike and Adidas, Puma cannot be the last to join these innovative branding techniques. They need to be the first to the table. A second study I read to apply to Puma bettering its brand stressed the importance of targeting the younger audience and taking advantage of the uniqueness that younger generations are bringing to the table. It suggests that brands be innovative in the aspects of their brand that they are stressing to the public, which ties back into the idea of being consumer intimate. Again, it is important for the Puma that they try to be unique and innovative while still not straying too far away from what consumers want to see in a product. That's all for my presentation. Thanks for listening, and here are my references.